All right, we have come to the last video of the section. If you made it this far, awesome job. You should pretty much have a character design. At this point, you can do whatever you'd like to make the Orville character your design. I highly recommended getting all design choices before rigging, which we start on in the next section. So this last video is just for refining, making sure everything's grouped properly and everything's in the right place. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna hide the color palette and I'm gonna hide the tracing image, and I'm just gonna focus on the image itself. I'm gonna bring back the arms, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start fixing this up so we can get this to look nice. So first off, I'm gonna start with the head. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom into the head. Now, what we wanna do with this head is we don't want any sharp corners. Actually, in any of the parts of the body that are gonna be rotating, we don't want any sharp corners. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to go ahead and take this point right here, and I'm gonna bring it up to the level of this point. So just select this point, the transform points tool, hold down shift, and I'm just gonna pull this up a little bit. The next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a new point on this head. Hit T on the keyboard to transform that point down, and I'm just gonna go ahead and hold down shift and drag that down. The next thing is I'm gonna hit C on the keyboard for the curvature tool, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna curve that out. So what I wanna do again is I just wanna create this smooth type of curvature here in the head. The next thing I wanna do is I wanna hide the edges of this head. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit H on the keyboard, and I'm gonna hide this edge, and I'm gonna hide this edge. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select this arm right here. This is the arm front. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna create a new point right here on the shoulder. I'm gonna hit T on the keyboard, and I'm gonna push that up. I'm gonna round it out as well, and then I'm gonna hide those edges as well. I'm gonna do the same thing down here on this part of the arm. I'm gonna go ahead and hit A on the keyboard, create a new point. I'm gonna drag that point, and I'm gonna smooth that out. Now I'm gonna go ahead and let you do the other arm. Once you have that other arm finished, for that arm back, go ahead and drag it behind, completely behind the body. So the arm should be the furthest thing away from the body. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here to the front leg. I'm gonna go ahead and hide the front arm for now. So I'm gonna come here to the group layer. I'm gonna go ahead and expand the group layer, and I'm gonna select the front leg. And then I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna add a new point, and I'm gonna hit T on the keyboard. I'm gonna push that up, kind of move that towards the middle, and I'm also gonna curve that out. Once that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and hide those edges. And then I can see it's kind of poking out a little bit, so I'm gonna take that whole layer for the leg and the front foot, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit M on the keyboard, and I'm just gonna push that over. To push it over by pixel, what you can do with the transform layer selected is you can hold down Control and hit the right arrow on your keyboard to push that over. I'm gonna go ahead and hit Control R to make sure that that's straight. Perfect. So now we got some pretty straight lines going all the way down. The last part would be to make sure that the foot itself is also lined up. So I'm gonna go ahead and select the foot layer itself specifically, and I'm gonna go ahead and select that whole entire foot and then move it over with Control and the right arrow. Go ahead and hit Control R. All right, that's perfect. So do the same thing with the back foot as well. And then once you're done with that back foot, go ahead and move that whole group layer behind the body, but in front of the back arm. So now I'm gonna hit Control R, just make sure everything looks good there. And again, as far as this whole front portion, everything looks good. Everything looks just how I want it to. It's all gonna make sense why we designed it the way that we did. The one last thing I can see right here is the hand. Now, the first thing you notice when we add a point right here is you're gonna notice that it's gonna misshapen a little bit. So we'll have to fix that. But I'm gonna add a point right there, and I'm gonna also add a point right here. And I'm actually gonna delete this center point right here by selecting the point and then hitting the delete key on my keyboard. So now what I'm gonna use is the Bezier handles in order to smooth that out to make it look more rounded at the top there and also all around. I'm gonna bring those points in a little bit more, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna hide this edge right here so that that hand doesn't have that line running through it. All right, that is it for this section. Well done at creating your character. We're gonna move on to the next section where we're gonna go over rigging. I'll see you there. Want to learn how to take your drawings and bring them to life? If you want to learn more about character design and the Moho drawing tools, be sure to check out my step-by-step online course that teaches you how to take your character designs from paper to animation. Want to take the course? Use promo code CHARACTER2019 and get the course 50% off. Link is in the description.